Story 1. My parents would never ask. I would be happy to give them money, though. Not half, just because the reality of managing a windfall is that it goes faster than you think. My goal would be to set it up so that it compounds on itself over time, not just be a dwindling stack of cash that steadily disappears. But I would definitely make sure their house is paid off, cars are paid off, and bills are taken care of. Dealing with people who want money would be the worst part of winning the lottery. Story 2. No, go away. But it would be from a place of love. $5 million would destroy my dad because he would use it to drink himself into even more of a stupor than he already is, and my mom would run around talking about it to all her friends and end up scammed out of all of it and more. I have spent my whole life watching them both waste every dollar. If I came into a large sum of money, I would need to maintain control for their own good. Story 3. Oh, now that I have money, you finally decided to find me? I have been looking for my parents for 36 years. Story 4. If I won $20 million, my parents would never know. That is not to say I would not take care of them, but I would never tell them how much. Story 5. They wouldn't even need to ask. If I won $20 million, my first priority would be making sure that they were set for the rest of their lives. Story 6. I would laugh so hard. My dad was an abusive person and my mom was an abusive narcissist. I wouldn't give them a penny even if I had $1 trillion. I would be the most generous, philanthropic person in existence to everyone but them. Story 7. Of course, my parents have done so much for me and have never asked me for anything in return. I also know they would never ask, but I would give it to them anyway. Story 8. Hell no. Then I would move and they would never see me again. They were terrible parents. My father tried to harm me when I was 10, and my mother had a series of abusive boyfriends after that, to whom she turned a blind eye. Story 9. My parents would never even know I had won that much money, because they would both beg for it, I am sure, and I am not giving them half. Look, when my grandmother passed away, my siblings and I had an inheritance of $5,000 each that I never learned about until I was an adult. My parents spent it, along with selling any items from the inheritance we received, because we were in a really difficult situation due to their poor life decisions. I do not entirely blame them for doing it, but that was our money. My grandfather on a different side of the family literally just passed away a few weeks ago. The same thing is about to happen again with all the still minor siblings. I am willing to bet you money my mother will not even help them buy a car or anything like that. The point is, I know my parents could waste $10 million very quickly. Furthermore, they treated me poorly during my childhood, even beyond the inheritance. They are not getting a single penny from me. I would put half of the money away for my siblings in whatever the best stocks, interest-bearing trust fund, or similar financial instruments a financial advisor can suggest. My minor siblings will have access to that money through me anytime they need it as minors. When they are adults, their trust fund, stocks, or whatever it is will be signed over to them in a way that will not negatively impact them with taxes. Story 10. Yeah, no, this is going towards fixing how badly you all messed me up. Or just uncontrollable laughter. Like really? Wanting 10 million after everything they put me through and what my dad said to me? No, that money is going towards therapy, medication, and moving far away. Story 11. My mom, yes, my dad, no. My mom helped me get sober after a challenging early 20s, and she attempted more than once. I relapsed twice, and I am now 4 years sober, approaching 5. I thank her endlessly. Story 12. You all are so nice. My parents literally said when they die, they hope my sisters and I get 33% of zero. I am not giving them anything. Story 13. I would say, Mom, let me pay off your mortgage and set you up with an annuity for the rest of your life, so you do not have to worry so much. Story 14. I love you both, and this is the least I can give you to thank you for raising me. I wasn't the easiest, but I turned out all right. They are happily retired, but this would set them up for the rest of their lives. Story 15. Wow. It's kind of a slap in the face to learn that so many people love their parents. I would say nothing to them. I would set up an account for my sisters and grab my girl and get away from here. Story 16. I would give them half before they even find out I won $20 million. So probably check your bank account. Story 17. My parents are absolutely toxic and abusive. I am no contact, so I would say, "Who are you? You must have the wrong number," and then hang up. Story 18, hello, I would give them all 20 if they asked, but only because I know they wouldn't ask. My in-laws, on the other hand, I would yell, "That's my purse, I don't know you." Story 19. My dad is deceased, and my 84-year-old mom is well enough off to not need it. In the unlikely event she did ask, I would absolutely give her half, no questions asked. She has been so helpful for such a long time in many ways that I can't begin to repay her. Story 20. My parents were so good to me, and I never fully realized it until I grew up, got married, and bought my own place. It was then that I understood what kind of people are out there. Sure, I was that troubled teenager who disliked doing chores and getting out of the house to find a job, but they taught me critical life skills. I didn't fully grasp this until my wife's parents, who basically abandoned her youngest siblings, for whom we have had guardianship for years, were in our care. Fast forward to now, the parents have been through jail and are dealing with drug court and similar issues, and it's all at my expense as they are living in my house as well. In short, if my parents wanted the money, they don't need it. Their retirement is something I personally long for. I would give it. Personally, I wouldn't know how to spend 10 million United States dollars anyway. Story 21. Well, my biological mother is dead, but I would give it to her. I would happily give half to my adoptive parents. They are awesome. I will burn half of the money in front of my biological father just so he couldn't get anything, and I would laugh in his face. Story 22. I can tell I am privileged because the answer would be, of course. My parents did everything they could. Even if they did not know how to deal with me, they still do. So, finally being in a secure position, I would definitely give them half. Story 23. No, I would pay their mortgage. I would pay every bill for the rest of their lives. I would make sure my siblings were taken care of too. I would fund my parents' ability to travel wherever they want. But I would do all of that directly. I would not want any of that money going towards their politics or the church. Story 24. No is an answer. People say they would give their parents anything they needed. Well, no doubt, but they sure don't need $10 million. If your parents would actually ask for half of your winnings, then they don't deserve it. A deserving parent would be happy for their children and wouldn't have to ask. Story 25. My mom died of cancer that appeared right on her 60th birthday, 2 days before she retired from her job. She died 8 months later. If I had money somewhere before that and the knowledge, I would put every penny into trying to save her. There is not enough money in the world to replace my mom. My father decided a long time ago that we are not his family anymore, so I do not care about him anymore, even if I do miss him. Story 26. Even after giving her $10 million, I would still owe my mom until the day one of us dies. She is the most selfless and generous person I know. Story 27. I had wonderful parents. They can have as much as they like. I am happy to share it with 2 wonderful people who have supported me for my whole life. Story 28. Since both are dead, I would call an expert on the paranormal who knows how to send them back to the light. Story 29. Yes, no questions asked. I can't imagine them ever asking, though. I honestly think that even if it were a matter of life or death, they would be hesitant to ask for that much. Story 30. I wouldn't be the man I am today without my family. All my aunts were like surrogate mothers and helped raise me. My mom sacrificed so much for me. I wouldn't hesitate. Story 31. Absolutely. I could die the next day. My parents mean everything to me. They spent a lot of time and money on raising me and loving me. Money means nothing compared to my mom and dad. Heck, I would give it all to them and be fine with a weekly allowance. I am grateful for good parents. Story 32. I am from Norway. The state funds most schooling, healthcare, and even subsidizes you when moving out from home, so you are not indebted to your parents nearly as much when you become autonomous as in other countries. Had my parents declared their income to me and given me half when I grew up, then sure, I would give them half of this. Fortunately, we are not that uncivilized. They would get $1 million each or something like that for sure, though. Story 33. My parents simply wouldn't ask. but I would make sure they get looked after using some of the money. Well, the one that is still alive. Story 34. I pay off their debts and invest the rest of their share, then put the investments in a trust that pays out to them. They receive the responsible benefits of having $10 million, and I keep my money. Story 35. My parents are deceased. I would set up annuities for my 2 sons and my 4 grandchildren. I would fund each with $1 million, and they can each use the annual interest payments to spend or save as they wish. The grandchildren could start drawing at age 21. That leaves $4 million. I would pay off all of my debts and move to a less congested place to live out my last 20 years without financial worries. Story 36. Without a doubt, I would give them half. They have sacrificed so much to make sure I had the best upbringing possible. They have sacrificed and honestly deserve all of it, to be honest. Story 37. I would never tell them. I would help out for sure, but I would never disclose how much I won. It's just asking for problems to get family involved with a lottery win. Story 38. I would put it into a trust with timed dispersions of small amounts or a trustee who would approve or deny requests. Story 39. Here you go. Thank you for all the sacrifices you made for us while growing up and for all the sacrifices we do not know about and will never know about. Story 40. Definitely give them both some money, but less to my dad because I know he is going to gamble all that money away at the casino. My mom would use that money to start a business. Story 41. I would set them up financially, make sure they have a house and investments. Then I would plan some holidays and give them spending money. Story 42. I would play the same tune my dad used on me. Dad, can I have $50 for a video game? Dad, why does a video game cost $30? $20 is a lot of money for someone your age. $10 will go a long way, so here, don't spend your $5 in one spot. Story 43. I'm fine with that, provided some of it flowed through to my sister. I love my family, and they are not complete fools with money. It would probably be invested in reasonable things. Story 44. Yes, absolutely. I had great parents, and they deserve to live a life of luxury in their old age. Now let me tell you what would really happen. My dad would take that half and give it to his other children, then set up a trust for his severely autistic grandson to ensure he has the help and services he will need for the rest of his life. Story 45. Absolutely. They can have more if they want. My mom manages money better than I do, and I know that she will end up putting money in the bank and not using it. Story 46. I would definitely consider it. My parents have worked very hard all their lives. They deserve to have some good experiences and an easy time. $10 million is still a lot of money that would absolutely be enough for me to do the things I want to do. Story 47. No is a complete sentence. My mother has squandered 4 separate payouts totaling close to $500,000 in the last 20 years and has absolutely nothing to show for it. Absolutely no way I'm going to give her money to feed the pokies. Story 48. Probably wouldn't ask, but I definitely will pay off every single thing for them without them asking. And I will probably set them up for life. You only have one parent. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.